All right. Well, we don't have anybody on just yet. Maybe they're still waking up or expect us to be late or whatnot. So anyhow, we got some viewers. Good morning, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Cape Breton Original Serious Sundays edition. We this is our fifth show on this series of showing where the money has been going with federal government grants and some certain business groups in CBRM, and how they're still connected into CBRM in the basically the roles that shape all the decisions that are being made on the island. Does that sound about right, Rod?
Yeah, well, basically what we've been doing is tracing. We've been following the money and where the money's going federally and provincially. So this has never been done. Basically, is that from grassroots movement like we're doing, is that ordinary people have never looked at where our tax dollars are actually being spent and who is actually receiving them.
Exactly. And I mean, we've got some real great local reporters telling us what's going on here, like Mary Campbell. We just came across a new favorite that we have now, Joe Ward. And Marie and I are loving the articles by both of these local reporters.
Yeah, really intelligent people, like really smart people.
They are. And we're going to make sure that everything we're discussing has been already, researched and documented already in, local papers. And we're just basically laying it out in a different way and making it so that more people are aware of what's going on. And they've got so many articles going back so many years. We're able to follow and make it into a series like we've done now. So, guys, that's all I got to say. So if you got anything more, we get right into it, unless you want to say something, right?
I'm perfectly fine with you guys are right on with what I'm thinking as well. I mean, this one's called the Benyon Shuffle, the one we're doing today, right?
Yeah.
So as usual, I love the way Mary Campbell starts it. 4 businessmen, a doctor and a physiotherapist walk into a bar. Just kidding. Actually, they walk into a small community in Cape Breton and buy up a number of recreational properties that together have been on the receiving end of hundreds of thousands of dollars in public money.
Millions.
Yeah.
Millions. Yeah.
Well, she's saying hundreds of thousands at this point, right? Because this is what she was able to prove at this point. So,
yeah.
Under the catchy name 3312636 Nova Scotia Limited, Mike Kenny, Troy Wilson, Rodney Colborne, Steve McDougall, and Siva Tanamoyaran and Glenn Brand recently bought the land on which the Benyon Yacht Club is situated for $150,000. Now, this was back in September 19th. 2018. I think we should also let people know that this wasn't recent. This is stuff we want everyone to be on board. This is what was taking place back then.
That's right.
So they have also purchased the Airy Estates subdivision in Benyon for $445,000 and the Birches at Benyon Country Inn for $5,000. The Birches originally went on the market in 2013 for $1.7 million, but as of 2015, the price had been dropped to $1 million, and the CBC was reporting there were no takers. Colburn told the CBC the group also owns shares in the Lakes Golf Club and that their aim is basically to realize Enterprise Cape Breton Corporation's ECBC original dream of turning Benyon into a Four Seasons resort area. So that was their plan.
Well, here's the thing. Why would ECBC have a dream of turning it into a Four Seasons? Was it ECBC's plan because they're a federal agency, or was it the people working in the federal agency's behalf that had this dream, right?
That's just it, Janet. And you bring up a really good point, is that ECBC, as a kind of a arm's length part of OCOA, actually, all this wealth, all this money is what the problem is all this money, for everybody listening, all this money is concentrated in one small area of Cape Breton. Instead of going, being spread out, let's say to Port Hawkesbury, Point Tupper, up north, for instance, to the ski hill in Ingonish. All this money was dropped into one place. And why? Because all the people involved in this live out there.
Yes,
it's
beautifying their area.
But the federal government money was supposed to be used as economic development for all of Cape Breton, not the elite of Cape Breton. And all of Cape Breton is suffering while the rest are eating caviar and steak, while the rest of us are on, I don't know, Mr. Noodles and stinking hot dogs if we're so fucking lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
I got you.
I get you, Janet. It gets me upset too. It's not cool. Like, so the Four Seasons. Back in 2013, then ECBC CEO, now Port of Sydney CEO, Marlene Usher, defending her organization's decision to invest $4 million in the Benyon Marina, outlined that dream for the CBC this way.
Now, do we remember the $4 million? Was that a payable $4 million, or was it a free $4 million?
Free.
That one, I believe, was the free one. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's why we're saying that the one at the top paragraph of Mary saying that they got hundreds of thousands. No, they got millions and hundreds of thousands. They got both. Okay. So just want to clear that up. Keep going.
Usher said the Benyon Marina is part of a much bigger development that includes a nearby ski hill and golf course and has potential to bring millions of dollars in tourism and new jobs to the island. Usher said the development at Benyon includes new housing, subdivisions with room for a hilltop hotel. She said the development has the potential to generate tens of millions of dollars in new investment and hundreds of new jobs.
Okay, freeze again. So this was back in 2013 that Marlene Usher was defending these decisions. So back in 2013, she was saying all this wonderfulness was coming, all this wonderfulness was being developed. This is now 2021. So we're looking at what, 8 years later? 8 years later. Can you tell me anybody that you know that works in these wonderful, all these dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs?
I've not met one. I don't know any.
I know one person, but what bothers me is what you'll see. It's almost like a line that all these bureaucrats drop when they want to actually, and we've seen it time and time again, girls, is that they keep dropping the idea of hundreds of jobs. It's almost like a quote that goes through it all. And where are all the jobs? That's the carrot that they use.
Words in the wind to me. I've heard enough of the jobs. It's going to bring jobs. I've not seen any real jobs that are sustainable jobs, that are something that you could actually raise a family on jobs.
Yeah.
No.
All the jobs are minimum wage at best. Okay.
Yes, I agree. And I mean, that I guess at one point would have been something you could have sustained yourself with, but now the rents have gone up. And we know what that's like here right now.
Hold on. Another part of the rents going up that gets me bothered is part of one of these people. Actually, there's a few players that are in these groups that are, shaping the development of CBRM that are into real estate and are in the rental agency. Now, you know that I was looking for a rental for at least 3 months.
For a long time.
And when I seen all these different rentals and these agencies with the same name of the people that we're talking about, it blew my mind. And when I seen the prices that they're asking for rent, I thought, they're the ones trying to drive us out. They're trying to drive out us regular Cape Bretoners that have lived here our whole life and saying, oh, you are not who this island is for. Get out, you poor ruffians. You're not.
Thank you for saying it, Janet.
Yeah, you lowborn are not what we want here. You're not part of our plan. You're certainly not part of our economic development. You can all take your lowborn stuff and get off the island is what I'm getting from them.
Well, there's a lot of truth in what you're talking about there, Janet, is that what we're seeing more and more is that there's more concentration on bringing immigrants into Cape Breton. And I got no problem with that.
Nope, that's right.
And senior citizens back from away to be pensioners here. And the whole thing is that at the same time, they're not willing to invest 1 cent in young people of Cape Breton Island, your grandchildren, the children, etc.
Yeah.
They'd rather see them go away.
They would.
Which they all are.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
That's it. Okay.
Well, okay. Well, Mary's on board with us, obviously, here. She says there are almost too many dodgy ideas in this excerpt list to list. So, what the heck? Let's just single out one dodgy idea. The notion that putting $4 million into the Benyon Marina would help create hundreds of jobs, when the actual business plan for the Benyon Marina said it intended to hire one full-time seasonal staff person to run the facility from May through the end of October, as well as one summer student from July 1st to August 31st to cover whose salary would apply for a student grant.
Yeah.
What the heck? I mean, it's right there in front of us, and we're all like, that's okay.
Wow. So we gave $4 million that they never, ever, ever had to repay back. I mean, $4 million to rich people. That was like a $5 allowance to, us, for them to get $4 million. And what would that have done for the poor children in Cape Breton? Well, how could they have developed $4 million to help the actual people that government wanted that money for? I mean, if something seems real dodgy, Mary's got that right.
Yeah, well, the poor kids certainly can't afford to go and play on those ski slopes or anything that they are talking about that is so wonderful for our island. I don't know. Anyway.
Yep.
All right.
Morning, Marie. Keep going, Marie.
So she says, but the strangest thing of all, I think, is the mix of public and private investment and for-profit and non-profit entities involved. It's a really tangled web, but worth trying to untangle, I think. So you'll know when public money is going to fund a community-minded, non-profit organization, and when it's going to fund a private sector for profit business.
Very important distinction.
It is. So let's start with the people buying up Benyon. Brian and Kenny are both involved in other Benyon organizations, for and not for profit. As you can see for yourself, thanks to the new annotation feature I'm experimenting with, click on any of the names below to see any connection the owners of 3312636 Nova Scotia Limited have to other Benyon entities. And as you do click on them, Janet, like you got Mike Kenny, he's the director. Yeah, he's the co-VP of Benyon Golf Club. He's also connected to the lakes. And you have Troy Wilson, the same, connected to the Benyon development. You have Rodney Colborne. He's the president, secretary, recognized agent of the Birches at Benyon Country Inn Limited.
Birches.
Benyon Development as well.
Yep.
Steve McDougall, Benyon Development Group. And Steve, this poor man, I cannot pronounce his name properly, but Benyon Development Group.
Right? Yeah.
Tenemayoran, I believe is how you pronounce it.
You're actually doing well on that.
Tenemayoran.
Yeah.
So, and then Glenn Brand. Look at this fellow too.
Yeah.
He's got quite his fingers in there just as much as Mike Kenny and Troy. So
he does. Now I love this demonstration that she did.
Yes. Now for the development itself, or rather the developments, and once again, I will use the annotation feature. So if you want further information about a highlighted company, just click on it. Note that the information comes from the Nova Scotia Registry of Joint Stocks website and was up to date as of 17th of September 2018.
Yeah.
In discussing the Benyon development, Usher referenced the marina, the ski hill, the golf course, and the residential subdivision, area estates, but I want to start with another entity entirely, Benyon Recreation Incorporated. Now, when we click on that, take a look at all of the directors.
All right, so that one.
Click on that.
This is really important. So let's take a look at these.
Look at these. J. Vernon McDonald, Manning McDonald, Anne Teresa Doucette, Jerry Redmond, Alan Keyhole, Richard Randy, Glenn Brand, Sandy McNeil. That's my good friend Mark McNeil's brother. Denise Gallant, Bernadette Romeo, president, and then Peter Trask and Brianne Lynch. Now, I'm sure that this Lynch can't surely be, part of the Lynches that are with the real estate development company, right? Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now that we have more, players, let's
a little bit more information as we go here, right? Because these are all new names. A lot of them are new names to us right now. But I mean, we'll see later on that they do connect up in other areas as well. I mean, one hand washes the other, as if they've all got COVID.
That's right.
So a Nova Scotia Limited by Guarantee Company incorporated and registered in May 2014, according to the Nova Scotia Registry of Joint Stocks. This is where she got her info, right? A limited by guarantee company is one of the forms a not-for-profit can take in Nova Scotia. So according to this 2013 Cape Breton Post story, Benyon Recreation Inc. is an umbrella group involving Ski Benyon, the Lakes Golf Course, and Benyon Marina. The subject of the story is Area Estates, the Benyon subdivision ECBC created at the time. It was funding the Benyon Marina, clearing 16 building lots on a hill next to the ski slope, and building a $1.1 million access road, now owned by the CBRM. The point of the article was that ECBC was about to begin selling those initial lots, but if additional subdivision development were to take place, it would fall not under ECBC, but Benyon Recreation.
There you go.
Oh, wait. How does that work, Rod? Explain that a bit there. It seems a bit ambiguous.
Okay, first of all, it should be known that they only sold one lot.
Yeah.
For this whole division that they invested all this money in. So this idea, it didn't fly. It basically didn't go anywhere, right? So, well, but the weird thing there is that it's owned by what was it there about the CBRM? What was it there, Marie?
It's about the fact that we now own an access road. $1.1 million access road is now owned by us.
And then who administers the actual kind of the property? Who is it? Is that the Benyon?
It's supposed to be the Area Estates, the Benyon subdivision ECBC created at the time.
Yeah.
It was funded by Benyon Marina.
Benyon Marina. So Benyon Marina is taken over by the Benyon, that group we looked at before.
The Benyon Development Group.
The Benyon Development Group. So now the Benyon Development Group essentially controls the real estate.
That's right.
That's right. It gets to be something else here. Okay, so she says, I can't explain how a company incorporated in May of 2014 came to be referenced as though it already existed in a post story from March of 2013. But the point is that this not-for-profit entity was created as an umbrella for a number of other entities. And what is striking is how many of those other entities are for-profit companies.
Yeah.
This is where it gets sketchy to me. It's all this profit, not-for-profit.
Okay.
I don't like this.
Why they do that, Marie, is actually they become a not-for-profit because that allows them to access government funding and grants. So they don't
tax
actually
breaks.
Tax breaks. But that means they don't have to actually use their own money. Get it?
Right. Yeah. It's all through somebody else. Yeah. Everybody's helping them make more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So she says, before I use my words to try to explain it, I'd like to share with you this very rudimentary diagram of my own devising. For-profit Benyon entities are green, not-for-profit Benyon entities are pink. You'll want to click to enlarge it, which I believe Janet did there, right?
All right, so let's look at this. So when you look at the Benyon Recreation Inc., and this is a not-for-profit.
Yeah. So not-for-profit is what it starts at.
Yeah.
Right. So anything that they do on behalf of the Benyon Golf Club, because they're listed first off as the Benyon Recreation Inc., okay, Nova Scotia Limited by guarantee, anything that they do for this main branch can be also done for this one. Even though this one's not for profit, this one is for profit, but this one's the leader of the profit. So the not-for-profit gets to do all the decision and buying and saving money and going for the grants, like you said. And this company here gets all these discounts. So here's what I don't like. So if they're using this as their umbrella to cover this, and then using this one to cover this profit one, this one, Cape Breton Ski Club, to cover the actual Ski Benyon, like how much money have they filtered in taxes that they didn't pay, grants that they didn't have to pay back? Like, this makes me so goddamn angry.
Listen. Let's slow down for a second. That's how they make their money. It's because they're not actually using their money to invest or maintain or etc., right? Or cover the labor costs.
They're hiding.
They're using the federal and provincial money.
This is smoke and mirrors, also known as trickery. Okay, they're using these scams and this shisty shader shit so that they can keep funneling all of our money so our kids stay starving and poor, but they're going to steady eat all the expensive things. They're going to just keep sucking and hosing, sucking that money out of Cape Breton's funds because they don't care about the poor. The poor mean nothing to them.
Oh,
So Mary said,
but wait, like at the same time, you'll notice that the big pitch for the nonprofits is that they'll actually provide employment for people, and at the same time, they're not going to employ anyone, or they're not going to attract any tourism or anything like that. But that's the pitch they use to get the money.
Yes.
Those words in the wind again to me. I just can't believe.
In the summertime, Marie, we're going to take a run out there and we're going to do a live stream and we're going to just see how welcome the public actually is in this area.
Well, I don't think we're going to be very welcome right now, Janet, but we can try our hats on, I guess.
We'll put on some wigs and some glasses and we'll go out looking like somebody else's grandma.
Oh, my God, that's right.
Okay, hit it, Marie.
Okay.
Keep going.
So Mary says here, from what I have read, it is acceptable for an incorporated nonprofit to engage in an income-generating activity that is carried out in a taxable, wholly owned corporation, which pays dividends out of its after-tax profits to the organization to enable the organization to carry out its not-for-profit activities.
There you go.
A non-for-profit doing so will not lose its tax-exempt status, right? Because this is what it's all about.
Yeah. And can you imagine how many things they're ordering for their actual for-profit business through the not-for-profit business so that they're not paying taxes on it? They're getting a different pricing. So they're making extra money on top of money they're already making. It's like bonus bucks. Great.
Yeah, they always say you got to have money to make money, don't they? Well, you got to have other people's money to make your money, apparently. That's the way they work it.
That's it. But it's our money they're using. That's my point.
Yeah, they make me ill.
It's our
when they
money.
know that we're suffering. I mean, we're talking about, these are just, I don't know. It makes me mad because they do know how we're suffering. These are not people who just wandered through Cape Breton and said, I like this area. They live here. They live here. They serve us as our doctors, as our businessmen. I mean, everybody knows who Troy Kenny is. Everybody knows who the Colburns are.
This is my question to you girls. Like, it was like when Cecil Clark was mayor of the CBRM, okay? He'd drive to work in his Volvo SUV, pass by all of the poor people and all of that, and he'd never interact with them. I bet you cannot name, or anyone that's watching this can name, one time that Cecil Clark was spotted at the Sobeys or where all the normal people go. The normal people.
Yeah. No. Well, that's just it. He isn't normal in his mind. He's above all of us, or else he wouldn't have gotten away with all he did.
And that's
you need such an ego to do this stuff.
These people live on the fringes of the CBRM. They drive into work and they drive back.
Well, they have people to go and buy their groceries for them. And the way I'm looking at it, I've not. Yeah, we won't get into that.
All right, go. Sorry, it got me mad.
Yes.
We're all mad as usual. We got to calm down. Let's have a sip of coffee, all of us.
Yeah, sorry. Have a coffee, everybody. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
She was saying, so as I ended it, a nonprofit doing so will not lose its tax-exempt status. So that looks like the case for the marina and the ski hill, she said. But what about the golf club? How does a straight-up for-profit entity fit into this scenario? The Lakes Golf Club The Lakes Golf Club is not a for-profit subsidiary of a nonprofit company. Gosh, the mouthful this is. It's a for-profit subsidiary of a for-profit company that has some unclear relationship with a not-for-profit company, Benyon Recreation Inc. This sounds like a tax attorney's nightmare or dream job. You can never tell with tax attorneys.
Right. It's true.
So yeah, I just like that whole mouthful. Like I read that a couple of times, going, it's like she's trying to. It is what it is. I mean, it is a mouthful. It's supposed to confuse you.
It's a spider web of income statements, is what it is. Okay.
Yeah. So we got our nonprofit umbrella. She's going to tell us about here. The Spectator has noted before, this mix of for and not-for-profit entities has not gone unremarked. In 2015, when the Benyon Recreation Inc. President Sandy McNeil went to the CBRM with a request for $350,000 from the Municipality Sustainability Fund. District 4 Councillor Claire Dethridge expressed some reservations about supporting the golf component of the project, although she fully supports the ski hill. This is a new golf course, and we're getting into paving and putting greens and driving ranges and cart paths. What's to stop all the other golf courses to start coming in looking for money for upgrades, she said. McNeil said some of the improvements that will be done to the golf course will also be enjoyed by the ski hill. So Benyon Recreation did, in fact, receive $175,000 in 2015 from the Sustainability Fund, which specifically requires that recipients be registered Canadian charities or non-profit societies registered with the Nova Scotia Registry of Joint Stocks.
Now, this $175,000, was that paid back or was that another gift?
Now, let's see. Well, it seems to me, if it's coming from the Sustainability Fund,
it's not paid back. It's
not, because it's for charities and nonprofit societies.
Here's my thing about that, is that went to where again, Marie? This
went to Benyon Recreation. Benyon Recreation did in fact receive $175,000 in 2015 from the Sustainability Fund.
Here's the thing. I'm involved with a number of charities, right? Like Loaves and Fishes, or the youth club in the pier, or out in Glace Bay they have another youth club.
Yeah.
Why the hell, and I'm sorry for me swearing, did we get money from our sustainability fund to finance the Benyon ski hill?
Yeah.
Instead of those jobs, right?
Well, you know what? Look at it. Because probably the money went into the golf club, into the Lakes Club, the Benyon Yacht Club, Benyon, all these for profits. Now, here's the thing. Is there a way that we can get a report showing how that money was spent, that $175,000? Is there an actual paper showing like a quantitative on what they did?
I believe that would be public record because of the fact of it's a sustainability fund, and anything that is non-for-profit, I believe, is public record, is it not?
Are we able
as far as I know, Rod, do you know anything different about that?
You can actually request that because
yeah. So I'd like to request that document, guys. Request.
Yeah. You know what we should do? Let's get a hold of Mary, ask her. Maybe she already has it. If not, then we can carry on from there.
Okay, sorry. Okay, go for it.
No worries. Okay, so you can see the value in having a not-for-profit umbrella over your for-profit company, says Mary.
There you go.
Frank Magazine did in pointing out Benyon's not-for-profit difficulty as soon as it read that Post article. So MIA coup. One final note on Benyon's Recreation Inc. The organization hired a chief operating officer in May of 2015, Jim Gilbert, a former Atlantic Lotto managing director. The CBC interviewed him in October of 2015 when he was hoping to grow the operation while making it more inclusive and accessible to locals. But he seems to have left without so much as a goodbye. His LinkedIn profile shows him back in Moncton, where he is managing partner at Rising Tide Group. More interestingly, his CV makes no mention of his time with Benyon Recreation.
He wanted no part of that. He knew that those guys stunk of corruption, and he wanted nothing to do with that.
That's a really good point.
He obviously saw what was going on and said, you know what, I am not dirtying myself with this. I've got a good thing going for myself. I've got a good career. Why dirty myself just to get a few?
Thinking you guys are going to get caught, and I'm not getting caught up in this web.
Yeah, he's a little smarter than the average. So that doesn't indicate a happy work experience. I wonder what went wrong. She said.
Right.
Words. Here's a rundown on those various Benyon entities in words. Annotated for your enlightenment. Ski Hill. The Benyon Ski Hill was established in 1968 by the Cape Breton Ski Club, a not-for-profit society, with assistance from the Cape Breton Development Corporation, DevCo, which had been formed just a year earlier. The same year it established the for-profit subsidiary, Sun Mountain Development Limited, through which it holds all of its capital assets and equipment. This includes the land it leases to the Lakes Golf Course.
Yeah.
In 2010, the Cape Breton Ski Club registered the for-profit Ski Benyon, which lists alpine skiing, snowboarding, cross-country and snowshoeing as the nature of its business. So now we have the marina. In 1998, the not-for-profit 302-4152, a Nova Scotia Limited by Guarantee Company, was established, changing its name in 2006 to Benyon Golf Limited, before changing it again in 2009 to Benyon Marina Limited. It remains a not-for-profit limited by Guarantee Company. In 2013, Benyon Marina Limited registered the for-profit Benyon Yacht Club, which lists marina recreation facility as the nature of its business. Then we have the golf club. In 1999, the Cape Breton Ski Club purchased the land on which part of the golf course and the marina were later located, with financial assistance in the form of two $300,000 forgivable loans.
Stop.
From ECBC and the province of Nova Scotia. Carry on.
So a forgivable loan. Who can explain a forgivable loan?
I bet you can, Janet. Or Rod.
Basically, a forgivable loan is, in short, and the financial people out there can correct me, is that if you default, unlike us, if we default on a loan, right? There's big penalties, right?
Yeah.
They seize your property, blah, 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 etc. A forgivable loan in government speak means that if you don't pay it back, oh well.
Goodness, it's okay. I know you only made one payment, but we're okay dropping the other.
We know you meant well with what you borrowed from us. So it didn't work out for you so well, and we're just going to pat you on the head and let you go. What else did you need from us? Anything else? Did you need us to put anything else in? Did you want a new ski club? Because we got that for you.
So look, we've got two $300,000 forgivable loans, so that's $600,000. We got that $175,000 one. We've got the $4 million forgivable one. How much is that so far? That's three.
You should be making a count.
$4 million.
Yeah, we should be tallying this stuff. Somebody out there get a calculator.
$750,000 so far. So $4,750,000
millions.
From one article. Like, this is ridiculous, isn't it?
Keep going there, girl.
Okay. So in 2006, the for-profit, right? Yep. Is this the one we're at? Yes. In 2006, the for-profit 3146392 Nova Scotia Limited Company was established, and in 2007 changed its name to Benyon Golf Club Limited, also a Nova Scotia Limited Company. In 2007, it registered the for-profit the Lakes Golf Club. Also in 2006, a second golf-related company was registered, 3146391 Nova Scotia Limited, which changed its name later that year to Benyon Golf Holdings Limited. It is a for-profit company that has no related registration, so I am not sure how it fits into the overall scheme of things.
So now we have high that day and didn't tie their, everything up properly and left it in limbo. Okay.
But you see, I believe these people honestly are of the mind that they are smarter than everyone else. Nobody's going to look into this, and why, we peasants should just shut up and go to work.
Well, listen, that is the big assumption.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is the big assumption.
They're gods. They are untouchable gods that us little meaningless people, we should be grateful that they are here. They are our savior.
That's right.
And they don't depend on somebody like Mary or Joe Ward coming out and just laying it out for us. And I don't think they really depended on anybody coming onto social media saying, look at what the heck you're doing to our country, our whole island right now. Well, right now, it is beyond me how we're going to.
They, over half a century, have literally wrecked and sucked as much money out of. They were like a vacuum sucking us dry of whatever the federal government could give. I mean, even if we got our equalization, I'm pretty sure they would have figured out a way to suck that out.
Find a way to, funnel it where they wanted instead of where it needed.
This is actually, you're onto a good point there, Janet, is that this is actually a learned behavior. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at it, when the for-profit kind of coal mines and steel mill shut down, right?
Yeah.
Government agencies jumped in with all this funding, and rightly so, to try and save our industries, etc. But these gentlemen and ladies, I'd like to add, learned that they can actually make a pretty good damn living
Yep.
off of applying for grants and government funding via economic development.
Yeah.
Well, we were desperate. As an island, we were so desperate and depressed when we lost our industry. We were not thinking. We had to watch the people who were trying to watch out for us. They were telling us that they were there for us, that they were going to help us, and we all believed in that.
Can someone tell me how a golf industry or marina industry is ever going to take the place of a coal and steel mine industry? And in what lifetime would they ever be sustainable to help the goddamn island?
Well, that's another good point. It's because, I work with an awful lot of miners and steel workers out west. And how are you going to replace a good paying job in the pits or in the steel mill with a minimum wage job?
Yeah.
You're not.
I agree.
Okay.
Well,
$50,000 to help a golf course when all these other places were spiraling out of control and people were going on unemployment. Wonderful. Keep going, Marie.
This is literally a planned decline of our island. We can all see that. We can anyways. And I'm hoping everyone else can see it as well. Now, I don't know. I'm hoping everybody will look up The Spectator, get themselves a subscription to The Spectator themselves. They should be looking at this. Mary's uncovering stuff every single day. Every day there's some new article out there that she is definitely enlightening us with. And it's incredible, that it's right there for us if we just have a minute to go and look for it.
Guys, what do you think?
Or if we're interested.
Hold on, Marie. Speaking of Mary Campbell and even Joe Ward, all of them are coming into hurdles of freedom of information requests, and they're being having to pay thousands of dollars. Joe Ward, I just read an article, $43,000 or Mary, $43,000 they had to come up with. How they ever managed to impose a $43,000 levy on people applying for the freedom of information that's public information, and they got to pay $43,000 to access it? Oh, and sweet gee whiz, got $43,000 to access public information.
Did you hear about that, Rod?
Yeah, well, they can actually... They can charge what they want.
How dare they?
It's ridiculous.
But hold on here a second. Is that I believe they've been censored a couple of times, the municipality, about the cost of their information, that they essentially are breaking the law.
Yes,
but
they are.
I agree with it.
Yeah, and the thing is that, again, one of my big villains are never the elected politicians. My big villains are the bureaucrats that are surrounding the politicians.
Right. The ones that paid to get them in there, actually.
Yeah. Like the bureaucrats, the lawyers, the CAOs, etc.
Why are they paying to get them in there? Everybody's got to think about that. Why would a lawyer pay to get a specific person in power? What would be going on in the mindset there, right? Why would a company or corporation put all of their money towards one person? What is going on? I mean, you don't have to be brilliant. If I can figure this out, all of you can figure this out.
What if we set up a GoFundMe just so that we could help them access this freedom of information money?
I'd like to see if we could do that, Janet. That would be really interesting, wouldn't it? Let's do it.
Okay, girls, we got 20 minutes left. We got to roll.
Okay. We got to get going on it. Okay. So next is area states, guys. At the same time it was building the Benyon Marina, ECBC built the road and cleared the land for the area state subdivision. When ECBC was absorbed in ACOA in 2014, any of its properties declared surplus went to Public Services and Procurement Canada, PSPC.
Okay, but here's the thing. So we know who worked in Public Services and Procurement Canada.
Here we go.
Gerald Shaw was the main guy. And it's just so weird that he's hooked into this too, and was the guy that had all these properties that figured out where they went and who got to buy them. Isn't that a little ironic?
So here we go. Earlier this, sorry, were you saying something, Rod?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Earlier this year, the businessman, doctor, and physiotherapist were discussing bought all 15 remaining lots for $445,000. For the record, the properties were originally expected to sell for prices between $70,000 and $100,000. As mentioned earlier, one sold, the rest ended up on the block for $525,000 for the complete set of 15.
Wow.
In the end, however, they didn't even fetch the discounted $525,000 price, which was supposed to allow the feds to recoup some of the $1.1 million poured into the access road. The final purchase price was $445,000, or roughly 40% of the road construction cost.
Wow.
The group, as noted elsewhere, is behind the numbered company 3312636 Nova Scotia Limited, which has also registered as Benyon Development Group.
Woo!
Now we got the Birches. In
Oh.
2003, ECBC put out a call for proposals for the land 9.75 acres on which the Birches at Benyon Country Inn now stands, and the winning bidders got the land at a nominal price and received loans worth $530,000 and non-repayable contributions worth an additional $112,220 from the development agency. Did you get that, Janet? $112,220?
Yeah.
Okay. In 2013, the couple who owned the inn, which at that point had never turned a profit, put it on the market for $1.7 million. By 2015, the CBC was reporting that the price had dropped to $1 million, but still nobody was biting. Earlier this year, as noted above, the businessman, doctor, and physiotherapist bought it for $675,000. It is now listed in the Nova Scotia Registry Joint Stocks as the Birches at Benyon Country Inn Limited. I've got to plug in my...
You
Bear
okay?
with me a minute, guys.
Yep, do your thing.
I saw my phone going dark there. I'm like, oh, that would be
Okay.
bad.
Plug it in.
Plug it in, plug it in.
Sorry.
Here we go, guys.
All right.
Here we go. Any second. Right, yep. There you go. So, where are we now? So, yes,
Birches.
they're about the Birches. Now, Submarina. The strangest deal in the recent flurry of business activity in Benyon has to be the sale of the land on which the Benyon Marina is situated. As mentioned, the land in question was part of a parcel purchased by the Cape Breton Ski Club in 1999, and it was the Benyon Marina's board's only contribution, valued at $800,000 to the $4.8 million Marina project. ECBC contributed the remaining $4 million in the process, breaking its own rule against providing more than 75% of a project funding.
So they broke. So Marlene Usher, and I'm going to say her name. Marlene Usher at this point in time was she was one of the heads of the ECBC.
Yep.
So they broke their own rule.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
Literally, they are providing more than 75% of a project's funding.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Like
So having made
wasn't enough.
Apparently not. Having made such an outsized investment in the marina, the feds announced they intended to protect it. As Gerard Shaw, then ECBC Director General of Property Development, told the Post in a 2012 story headlined, "Benyon Marina will belong to ECBC," which I think is worth quoting at some length.
Yeah.
Here it is. Taxpayer money spent on a Benyon Marina is protected through the ownership arrangement with the project proponent, says an Enterprise Cape Breton Corporation official. Gerard Shaw, ECBC Director General of Property Development, said the Crown Corporation will own the facility and lease it to a community group. Under the funding arrangement, ECBC takes ownership of the marina and leases it back to Benyon Marina Limited on a long-term basis. If the group is unable to operate the facility, ECBC would take control of it. ECBC determined that taking ownership of the marina and leasing it to the group would provide the best security for its investment. Sydney lawyer and Benyon Marina Limited Director Robert Sampson said they were quite conscious of the size of the investment they were making. There's been tons and tons of investments made in things with similar ratios, and lots of them are here and gone now. But from ECBC's point of view, a lot of those investments they're making in some kind of private business, he said. It's a community initiative, so to make sure that it doesn't get sold or that it doesn't get mortgaged up to the point where a bank can come in and foreclose, that was the best way for them to make the investment.
But that's the way business goes.
Right, and at the same time, from their point of view, provide a level of protection. That is the way it goes. This is how they can do it when they've already got money. They can go to a government and say, oh my God, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my business. And the government's like, we'll help you.
But does anybody see how backwards this is?
Yes.
Is that like, because these business people are so used to getting government money, is that the whole rule of capitalism and business doesn't exist. Like,
No.
Well, because they paid for that person to come in, so they expect their money back. They expect, hey, I just gave you all this money for getting you elected, and you better start changing the rules.
But
no,
where else?
You set, you know, it was strategic. All these people put in these roles were all placed there strategically, like chess. All right.
Yeah.
All these people didn't just randomly get assigned these roles. They didn't even apply for half of these positions. They just got them. Okay. And there was no.
Slide them over.
Yeah, there was a reason for it.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. In 2013, the Post was still reporting that ECBC took ownership of the marina and is leasing it to Benyon Marina Limited. But it turns out this was not true. ECBC didn't take ownership of the marina. It took ownership of the land on which the marina sat. So, liability? I spoke to Shaw on Monday, and he said that ECBC never intended to take ownership of the marina facility, that it had always intended to retain ownership of the land only. I had sent him the 2012 Post story, and somehow he read it as saying just that. Although I don't see how you can interpret the Crown Corporation will own the facility and lease it to a community group as the Crown Corporation will own the land underneath the facility and lease it to a community group.
Well,
So
that's
he's
because he didn't
contradicting
remember
himself.
why. Well, he knew what their actual plan was, and he had to make it sound real nice so the public would buy into the BS. And unfortunately, he couldn't remember his own BS story. Oopsie.
Yeah. Well, they can say what they want.
Yeah.
They can say what they want, but the truth is here. At any rate, ECBC retained ownership of the land, which it rented to the Marina Board for $1 a year on a 50-year lease, with an option to renew for 50 years or to buy at the 20-year mark.
I would have renewed for 1,000,000 years. No, at that price,
my God. When ECBC was dissolved, ownership of the land passed to PSPC, which determined it was not a requirement for the ongoing Government of Canada business.
And who was the representative of that government agency at that time when ECBC dissolved? Shaw.
Yeah.
Yes, like Janet said, she knows. When ECBC was dissolved, ownership of the land passed. Blah, blah, blah. Therefore, it was declared surplus, and earlier this year sold to our group of enterprising businessmen and medical types for $150,000. Shaw told the media at the time that the market value of the land was actually $12,000 due to the $1 a year lease, and that the $150,000 offer represented was the best deal they could get for Canadians. The winning bidders beat out the owners of the actual marina facility.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So, but I asked Shaw why, if the government had retained ownership of the land to protect its $4 million investment, it had now decided to sell it off. Did it no longer feel it needed to protect its investment?
Well,
Shaw replied,
the investment was going to the original people that the loan was given to, and that's his buddies. It's like, my God, you want me to stab my buddies in the back? Knock it off,
yeah,
man.
it's like, it's like, you know, but anyway, Shaw replied that the terms of the sales contract continue to protect the government investment because if the owners of the marina facility were to end up defaulting, say they failed to pay their bills, not just their $1 a year rent.
Yeah.
And the building was to revert to the landowners, which apparently it would, said landowners could only sell the marina for market value based on a new appraisal. And would have to give 50% of whatever they earned to the federal government.
Yeah.
But Shaw also offered another explanation as to why the federal government might have been anxious to get out from under the Benyon property. If you look, we're on the Bredor Lakes. It's a marina. There's gas. There's all kinds of things. So the federal government owning that, it could be drawn into a liability in the event anything were to happen, which is interesting considering one of the many criticisms of the marina was that it was constructed with what the CBC termed minimal environmental approval.
Yeah, this is a bit of a backstory. Is that they didn't they actually, you know, in order, let's say if you want to put in a septic tank or something like that, you got to do an environmental survey, right? Or anything. They didn't do it to establish this marina.
That would be wasted money for the rich people.
But there's
we don't no environmental survey. Yeah. We don't need no stinking badges. We don't need no stinking badges.
Well, why
Okay.
can't you still have it done?
If there's any dirt in the water, it'll float downstream to the poor people anyway. Isn't that what they did with, anyways? I suggested this should have been just as much a concern when the federal government first decided to make such a significant investment in a marina on the Bredor Lakes. Shaw agreed, but said, I can't predict what would have happened with ECBC, but my guess is at some point in the future, they would have sold the land because there was a buyout clause after 20 years in the lease anyway.
Oh, God.
But it strikes me that the Benyon Marina Board stressed its status as a community organization throughout its discussions with the government on the project. And even if you don't buy that status, and frankly I don't, it seems strange to opt to sell the land under a supposed community asset to a for-profit company. And what is the point of owning the land under the Benyon Marina if the marina has a 50-year lease at $1 a year on the property and an option to buy it at the 20-year mark or extend it another 50 years? The only advantage I can see is if the facility owners default and you end up owning a marina, unlikely surely, or if the sale price is higher than $150,000 that you paid. So the question is, how will the sale price be determined? I asked PSPC that earlier and was told by Senior Communications Advisor Aaron Bauer that when the option to purchase the land arrives in 2031, its price would have to be an amount agreed to be by the marina owners and the landowner, determined through a negotiation. I would like to be a fly on the wall for those negotiations.
Yeah.
So
exactly. $1 a year for 50 years. $1 a year. And these are the same.
I was hoping you guys would say something about this. Yes.
Determining our rents for us out here that are working for their jobs at low wage Kenny's Pizza, low wage Tim Hortons. They're giving us exactly minimum wage unless you work for them for 50 god dang years. Then they'll give you $1 more than minimum wage, for loyalty. So we not only are giving them all of our free money from the government, but we're working for them for next to nothing, and they're getting all us lowborns with the extra dollars left over. We're all sinking it into Tim Hortons. We're all sinking it into Kenny's Pizza. We gotta stop it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, do your thing.
I'll just read up here. Follow the public money. So what is the point of all this? Believe me, after my 500th visit to the Registry of Joint Stocks website, I was asking myself the same question. But I think the answer is that millions of dollars in public money have been spent in Benyon on the promise of tens of millions of dollars in new investment and hundreds of new jobs, none of which has materialized. Instead, the most likely scenario now seems to be that the millions spent in Benyon may benefit 6 private investors who are buying up pieces of the development at fire sale prices.
There. Show what's that number? Read that up there, Janet.
That number, $4,862,220 is what we taxpayers have contributed to that golf course so far.
Yeah.
I think we all deserve a ride on that ski lift. Anyway, I've never been on it.
I think anyone with a birth certificate that says that they were born anywhere in Cape Breton should have free access to the Birches. We should have free access to the Benyon Marina. Mm-hmm. We should have access to that golf course, and we should have access to that ski hill.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yep. Okay, so instead, the most likely scenario now seems to be that the millions spent in Benyon may benefit 6 private investors who are buying up pieces of development at fire sale prices. Sorry, I read. Perhaps they will put tens of millions into it and create hundreds of new jobs. More power to them. What I will be watching for is to see if they come back to the public looking for further support, whether as a for-profit business or hiding behind the skirts of a not-for-profit Benyon recreation. Because honestly, I think we've done our part.
Amen to that, Mary Campbell.
Yeah. Amen, Mary.
Yeah.
Mary has certainly gone above and beyond to do her part for public entity.
Hold on a sec.
Where'd he go?
He's checking his buns. You checking your buns?
No, the buns are good.
Okay.
The buns are good. Bye.
So,
Cape
thanks.
Breton Spectator.
Yes, Cape Breton Spectator.
Yes, we all need to get a mug. And everybody's got to get a subscription to Mary's paper because
that's right, Albert.
Get yourself informed.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: like everybody that's on our chat line, chatting is, they keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
And they you can even see these deals And they're still around. The people that made these decisions, okay? The people that made these decisions are still making decisions for the people of Cape Breton today.
Yes.
And I have to say her name. Marlene Usher is now in charge of the port of Cape Breton. And here's my point about Marlene Usher. And she might be a wonderful bureaucrat and can push the paper like no other.
Mhm.
But any decision that she's made hasn't been the right one.
It's had a negative impact on us low-born people. For elite, it's been wonderful. Gravy train all the way for Marlene and her buds. But for
Like-
us people that are minimum, low class, medium class, we have got the shit.
They consider us to be.
We put a shit stick the whole time.
But it really makes me mad because, like, in business, like in different parts of my life, there's such a thing as deliverables. And what deliverables are is that when you sign a contract with someone, no matter what position you're in business, you have to deliver.
Yeah.
And has she or any of this crew delivered on any of their promises?
There seems to be no accountability for anything that they're doing.
What tangible things can they show us that this money is actually done to benefit us, okay? Other than to grow the golf course, what profits have been coming out of it? How many people have they serviced? How many employees work there? I'd like to know the actual breakdowns.
Who does it benefit is what you're saying, Janet.
Yes.
Who does it benefit?
Right.
And what we see and what we have seen in Cape Breton is what we will continue to see.
The decline.
Is people in if these people continue in positions of power and influence, is that the money will stay at the top and it will not trickle down to the people below it.
They make sure it doesn't. They are the ones stopping it from going any further. Once it hits them in their corporate CBRM bank account, that's it. That's all they needed for the federal government to make that transfer payment. And once it's in there, then they've got all their friends and their buddies. And it's like, okay, we got our access to this. Get your nonprofit to put in and apply for dollars. Boom.
You're right. And what we discovered too, thanks again for reading, Marie,
Yes.
is that here's the play for everybody out there, is that they use a ruse, of being a nonprofit to access the funding to actually support their businesses.
They make it sound beneficial to the public.
Yeah, exactly. And in that, they take the money that they use to access the nonprofit to actually fund their for-profit businesses.
Exactly. Now, that helps the public. How? Now, I don't know about you guys, but the last time I had something shoved in my butt didn't help me at all. And we're all here getting stuff shoved in our butts by these people. I'm so sorry to say, but that don't help no one in Cape Breton. Not a bit. It's total corruption. Sorry for the vulgarity there, Rod, but
That's all
It's
right.
pretty much the truth, Janet. She says it in a descriptive way nobody wants to visualize, but you know what? It's getting to the point where I think we're all feeling it. It's bad. But next week, I'm thinking it is Easter Sunday and everything, but I mean, maybe we should let them all decide. I don't know if anybody's watching and if they feel like they're going to be up for it, 9 a.m. next Sunday.
All right, guys.
We were going to look at the Usher, the sisters, right? We were going to take a look at Joe Ward's article and Mary Campbell.
Stuff. Yeah.
Here's what
and Mary Campbell. She as well had something to say.
Hold on. I got to share the screen again, guys. I'm going to give you a sneak preview of what we're going to look at next week, okay?
Oh, yeah, very cool.
So next week, this is what we're looking at. Do you see this? It is a series by Joe Ward. This one is Power Sisters, CBRM Power Sisters, Usher and Walsh. Between the two of them, $354,000 a year. I'd like to see a little list of what exactly these ladies do for us as well. So that's what we're going to be focusing on next week. And
Mary Campbell actually has her own little article in response basically to Marlene Usher saying, I don't make that money. I don't know what you're talking about. Where are you coming up with these numbers?
Yeah. Because I mean,
Ooh,
I'm looking at another thing here. Let's just hold on here. Another thing I've been looking at. This one is quite interesting too. It's the CBRM salaries. This is for again for another show, another day, guys. But promise you, we've got all of our ducks in a row.
Oh, we got a lot. Got a lot to show you.
Okay, so we're getting some response about next week. Rod, are you okay for Easter Sunday?
Yeah, sure, I can come in. Yeah.
All right. So, guys, we are going to continue on because there's, like I said, we've probably got another 20 more episodes. In order
Oh
to
my
fill in
God!
the
Just in this one little.
It doesn't end. So for Mary Campbell and for Joe Ward, if you guys are watching, please send us anything, any more articles, flag us, tag us, whatever you need to do to get our attention. Please do, because Cape Breton Originals is here for you. We want to make sure that the time you took, the effort.
Here's a flower to brighten up your day. There you go.
Show everybody what's going on in Cape Breton. Great. Well, guys, I'm glad. Yes, we're going to be on. We are on next Sunday, Easter Sunday. We are still on. The show must go on, and the information needs to be told. In the meantime, we're going to be doing what is that building down by the Highland Arts Theatre with Kevin Colford? What is that new building he redesigned? God,
Gee whiz. It was that church. It was that church at one time.
Oh yeah. And going inside and doing a live stream. So
that's nice.
I can't wait to see that.
It's going to
be cool.
Yes, Angela, Mary Campbell is amazing. Guys, that's the end of our show. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and share this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Cape Breton Originals. We appreciate all your comments, likes, and views. And check out Rod with his Saint effects. So once I get into my new place, I'm going to make us some nice custom clothes, guys. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great week. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.